Thank you very much and welcome back. The decision. Apologies that it has taken time, but we had a lot to consider. The subcommittee took account of all representation made by all interested parties, both verbal and written. In addition, the subcommittee welcomed the conditions offered by the applicant and their willingness to commit to the licensing objectives at all times. The subcommittee considered all relevant evidence made available to it, and in doing so, took the following into account: the licensing objectives of the Licensing Act 2003, Hillingdon's licensing policy, the guidance issued by the Secretary of State under Section 182 of the Licensing Act 2003, in particular paragraphs 9.42 and 10.46. The decision of the subcommittee is to grant the application for a new premises license for the sale of alcohol off the premises between the hours of 10 o'clock until 2300. So it's now 10 o'clock to 2300, subject to the following conditions. Let me mention that all the conditions which have been agreed by the applicant and responsible authorities, with the addition of the following conditions. And please note that a full written decision will follow within 5 working days. So in the event there is a failure in the CCTV system, there shall be no sale of alcohol until the system has been restored as per the minimum requirements of the Metropolitan Police Services. Spirits and high-value alcohol shall be kept behind the counter as per the revised plan. Now, this is the revised plan which we finally worked out of how the schematics of the shop shall be. And you have to adhere to that. There will be no stock or sale of miniature-sized alcohol bottles below 20 cl. No disposal of waste shall take place between 2000 hours and 800 hours. The subcommittee recognizes that this is a new application for a premises license for a grocery/convenience store with the sale of alcohol subsidiary to the business. While the subcommittee were addressed about public nuisance and crime and disorder, it notes there have been no representation or evidence submitted from any of the responsible authorities or members' inquiries logged by councillors in the respect of this application. Whilst the subcommittee are sympathetic to issues raised by interested parties, particularly about the volume of licensed premises in close proximity, there is currently no cumulative policy / special policy in place, and therefore this could not be considered. Having taken into consideration the various representations, the subcommittee has determined that the conditions agreed by the applicants and the responsible authorities, which has been modified, will serve to sufficiently combat the issues that have been raised. The subcommittee recognizes the need for businesses to continue trading. However, this must not, and let me emphasize, this must not be at the expense of local residents. Local businesses are reminded about their obligations to adhere to the regulations to ensure the licensing objectives are being adhered to. The relevant applicant for the premise license of any other persons who made relevant representations to the application may appeal against the council's decision to the Justice Clerk at the Uxbridge Magistrates Court. Such an appeal may be brought within 21 days of receipt of this notice of decision. No decision made by the council will have the effect to the time period within which an appeal may be brought and until such time that appeal has been determined or abandoned. The subcommittee advises as a comfort to residents and a warning to the licensee that the license may be reviewed and could be potentially be revoked if the license conditions are not adhered to, or if the premises are managed in a manner which do not uphold the licensing objectives. You will have deemed to have received the decision letter 2 days after the date of the accompanying letter, which you posted by first-class mail. Thank you. That's the end of the decision.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.